Hello, this is Carrie again with Stampin and a great Stampin' idea. We're continuing on with our Project Life mini album. This album was inspired by Ginger from my sister Scrapper, and I learned how to make these albums from her. She doesn't make a Project Life album that I know of. I just, after watching her videos, really liked how they looked, and I just thought they were so adorable. I tried a couple of them with just regular designer series paper and pattern paper, and decided I would like to make albums that fit Project Life cards. Then I could make gifts for people. I could just have some vanilla ones laying around, and then when someone had a baby or got married or something like that, I could just buy a kit, slap it in, and I'd be good to go. It's all in my efforts to not procrastinate. I'm still working on that, just so you know. Okay, so what we're working on today is our flip-up pages, and what I have here is 6 flip-up pages, one for each page that we're going to put in our book, and they're 6 5/8 by 4 1/8. All the sizes will be in the description box and also on my blog, just in case I say the sizes wrong, because there's lots of sizes with these papers and a lot of them are close to each other, and so I get confused. So I'm going to just go ahead and score this with my paper cutter. I'm just going to go to the 1/2 inch and just score those like that. And you're going to do this to all 6 of your flip-up pages. Okay. Now that we have all of our pages done, I'm going to do the same thing I did to my other pages. We're going to put tape on them and then trim off the edges. So again, you want to put the tape right along the edge. If I can see it here. Again, I'm putting it right along the score mark, actually, on the edge. Just, there's my score mark. Don't put it over the score mark, just put it right up to the score mark. All of these I'm going to trim, again, the edges, just so they tuck in and look nicer. I just like to do that. You don't have to. This is, if you don't care, then don't. It's your book. Do whatever you want. Whatever works for you. Okay, now that we have these done, we're going to fold these over and crease those really good. That'll make it easier to put it in our book or onto our pages, because we're going to tuck these. They're going to go right up against the page like this. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Alright. Now that you have all of your flip-up pages done, now would be a good time to do any corner rounding that you want to do for your book on your flip-up pages and on your cards if you'd like to, if they're not already rounded for you. This would be a good time to do that, because it's a lot easier to do a stack of them all at once with your corner chomper or with a corner rounder. This would just be a good time to do it. It's less of a hassle to do it now before you start putting your actual book together. Let's get our pages and add our flaps. So what we have to keep in mind is the hinge side of your page. If we put this too close, it'll be very difficult to flip your page up. So what you want to do is put it not all the way to the edge, but probably 1/8 of an inch, no more than 1/4 of an inch, and that gives you some space here, about 1/2 inch, to make sure that you're able to flip your pages up. So I'm going to take my backing off here, and I usually turn it kind of upside down, and I'm putting this, see, I hope you guys can see this all right. I'm putting it right flush along the top of this book right here, this page rather. Okay, so that's my page. It's flush right up against here, and now I can flip it up. Now don't worry about this. This is going to be covered by cardstock, but because this is kind of tapered in, it does help hide it a little bit more. So you're going to do this with all of your pages. Okay, now that your pages are done, they are pretty much ready to be put in your book. You can do one of two things. You can go ahead and put them in your book now, or you can go ahead and put cards on them and get them all ready to go and put them in your book after they're decorated. I haven't found too big of a difference if one's easier than the other. I do like to cover mine now before I put them in the book. I don't do tons of embellishments on them, but I will usually put all the cards and everything on them now and then put them in the book. But since I am just showing you how to do the book today with this series, I am not going to put the cards on it right now. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in my book. So let's grab the hinge and the book. So here's the book that we made in the first video in part 1, and here's our hinge that we made in part 2. It's all ready to go, and we're going to go ahead and peel the backing off of the hinge here. I will tell you, I have tried to do liquid glue on the spine and it did not work, so may just have to go with it. So what I'm going to do here is I want to get this section with my spine in the middle right here the best I can. And so this takes a little positioning. So just do the best that you can. It is a little bit smaller, it's supposed to be. But get it as straight as you can. Okay. And then you're going to run your bone folder in between there. Really burnish that in there. Now the tricky part is now we've got to score here. You have to be very careful that you don't poke your paper. So don't use the pointy end as much as you use the side. I would just use the side and I just gently rub it as I'm lifting it up. I'm not really pressing super hard. It's more just the repetitive motion that helps get that cover to bend up correctly. Okay, so you're kind of pushing that paper down in there, and you'll repeat that process with the other side. Now I have poked accidentally. I have poked the inside. You know, you can cover it with washi tape or something, which is what I did with my other album. There's a little secret for you. So once you get that in there like that, I guess those could be a little straighter, but oh well, too late to worry about it now. So now what I can do is, now it's time to put our pages on. So what we're going to do here is, I could have done this before we put the spine in, but it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. So I'm going to put tape on both sides of my spine pages here. You just want to get that on there to the very edge. Make sure you push it on there really, really well. Okay, once these are done, you want to make sure all your pages are going the correct direction before you start putting them in, so you don't accidentally put them in backwards or accidentally put them in upside down. I guess you could put them in upside down, depends on what you're going for, but in this case I'm just going to make sure they're all going in the correct direction, and you're just going to do one page at a time. Just peel off one at a time. Don't peel off all the tape at once because it'll be a nightmare, and that's not where we're going here. Crafting is supposed to be fun. So I'm going to stick my hand in here, and I'm going to start at the bottom and shimmy this on here, hopefully, or not. It's not wanting to go on. There we go. Alright, so get that about even, and then when you like it, press like that. Okay, You're going to follow that procedure with all the rest of them. Make sure your page is going the right way. Slip that on there. Okay. Okay. All the pages are in and they're ready to be embellished, or the cards put on and then embellished. Okay, so we're just going to add the front and back covers here, and that is just some Whisper White cardstock. From here on out, since we're done with the heavy duty stuff, stuff that would be kind of a lot of weight on it, we can use you can use more tear and tape or score tape if you want, or you can just use fast fuse. Usually for me, I start using the fast fuse from here on out just because it's faster. And the fast fuse is really strong. I just prefer to use the score tape or the tear and tape for the other stuff. So I just have a piece of white cardstock here. This just kind of covers up the inside messiness. Get that good and burnished on there. Because that wasn't really straight, was it? Okay, and then I'm sure you guys will do a much better job sticking that in. At this point, if you really did want to use liquid glue, if you prefer to use liquid glue, it's okay to do it now. Liquid glue for me just did not work very well for the spine. Okay. And okay, so now we have our front and back inside covers. Here's the outside. Now on the spine, this obviously is not the right size for a Project Life card, and for mine, I just took a Project Life card and cut it down, and then you'll need a little piece of cardstock, and I think it's a little less than 2 inches by the height of your book. But you could make a bunch of these up. You have your pull-out cards. There really isn't much to these other than you just put them in. And they'll get a little tighter as you put more cardstock in them. Or, excuse me, cardstock on them as you stick it to there. But really from here on out, it's just cutting your cardstock and putting it all together now. Embellishing it. So at this point, if you got to this point where you just have this vanilla, you're ready to just make a bunch of these and put them aside, and then when someone needs a gift, you're good to go. So I got all those in. So I will end the video here. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this Project Life kit card.